Hey Stillwater, welcome to the Still Connect podcast, a podcast all about Stillwater, Oklahoma. I'm your host, Denver Evans, a born and raised Stillwater local and owner of Stillwater Digital Marketing. Every Wednesday, I share a friendly chat with someone in our community that's helping make Stillwater such a great place. Whether you're a longtime resident or just a visitor, this is your place to plug in, stay inspired, and still connect with the stories that shape our community. And if you ever want to watch these interviews, you can check them out on YouTube. I'm really excited about this episode today. I'm sitting here with Jim Beckstrom, Executive Director of Dancing Turtle, Chairman of the Stillwater Community Center Foundation. How are you?
Nailed it. Good job, Denver. Fantastic. How are you?
Very well. Good. So give us some background, more information about you and all that you do.
Yeah, so I married my wife here in 1980, so I've been around Stillwater since the mid-'70s, so this is kind of home. And my wife and I moved back here in 2009, and over a few years I got kind of involved in the community. We lived overseas forever and moved in here, and I've been embraced by the community. It's been awesome, and kind of got involved in more and more things. And the next thing you know, I'm, what you just said, Community Center Foundation and Executive Dancing Turtle Director. So, yeah.
Doing all the stuff.
Yeah, and it's hard to direct Dancing Turtles, I'm just telling you. So.
They don't take orders very well.
No, and they don't respond quickly enough.
Right. Very slow response.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're also involved with the Washington School?
I'm also chair of the Washington School Heritage Foundation. That is a African-American school that was basically taken out of commission in the 70s. Stillwater integrated, desegregated in the early 60s, and then that school has kind of been ignored for a long time, and we are so lucky that it actually survived because there were kind of bulldozers at the wall numerous times over the years, and the irony is that it's in a floodplain, which is probably the reason that it's still standing, because it's not an attractive property for people to redevelop. And so we're super excited about that because we actually know how to redevelop the school in a floodplain. It's going to be cool. So we're very excited about bringing that facility back to life and to honor the African American community here in Stillwater, and also kind of a regional recognition of the educational system for African Americans in this area. So we're excited about that.
That's really cool. So what is that building going to be used for? Is it going to be sort of like a community,
so that's a great
functional
question.
Building?
Kind of the guide points. The guide points for us are, yes, it's going to be a community space. It's a City of Stillwater property, and it's going to be available to the community to use. And kind of one of the things that keeps bubbling to the surface is that it's going to be an event space, another space for people to get another gathering place. We've had this one, like the community center, which we're sitting in now, has a big gymnasium, which the Washington School has kind of a twin. And this thing is oversubscribed a bit, so it's going to be awesome to have another facility available. Plus, there's a big development going on 12th Avenue where the school's located in the health corridor. And it's kind of a massive athletic facility in addition to kind of human health and medical facilities. And so there's kind of no doubt that facility is well positioned to provide service to the multiple athletic events and community events going on down there. So we're excited about that. It's also going to have a heritage element. So a part of that structure is going to have exhibits and things to honor the African American community, the school itself, and kind of the history of African American education in the region.
That's really great.
Yeah,
sounds like a lot of good stuff. Yeah. So what's the timeline on that project?
Never fast enough for me, but that's a personal problem. We will probably put a new roof on the gymnasium this year. That came a little quicker than we were hoping. Not that it didn't need a new roof, but the entire roof blew off back in the big, when did we have the fires? February? March. Yeah, all those winds just literally peeled the roof off the gymnasium.
Oh, wow.
And so we that kind of went from like priority number 2 to like priority number 1. And so I think we did a big fundraiser a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. Last month, holy cow. We gathered enough funds to be able to fund the replacement of that roof. So we're super excited about that, and we'll be working with the city to kind of keep that moving along. I mean, there's an outside chance that facility is open for use in 2 years.
Great.
Maybe 3, so we'll see.
Very exciting. I guess it all depends on how fundraising goes, right?
Yeah, I mean, the city does not have money allocated for that project.
Right. So it's all private.
They need to worry about streets. There's kind of like 5,000 things ahead of that school.
Yeah.
But I think this community is really supportive, and we're seeing a lot of private money coming in, and so I'm optimistic that we can have something to show for it.
It's always good when the community can come together and make something happen.
It's super exciting. I mean, the gala was the fundraising gala was super, super successful, and it was really a powerful example of what this community can do when it puts its mind to it. So,
yeah. And it was really cool just hearing all those people's stories.
Yeah.
Of just their experiences at the school and what desegregation was like. And that was really great.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
Yep. So talk to me about this map.
Oh yeah, this cool map.
What is this map?
So it's funny. I in a former life, I was in the oil and gas industry and involved in a lot of environmental stuff. And I got involved in one area, and we had this consultant helping us. He was a graduate of Texas A&M, a proud Aggie, okay, and a real character. And he would have printouts. Okay, this is on the early days of kind of computers being applied, and he would have maps printed out, and then he'd color on them with crayons and colored pencils. And he would call it Aggie CAD.
Oh,
and
no.
So I am stealing his branding a bit.
Yeah.
And so this map here, or this figure here, is Jim's Aggie CAD of something that's PowerPoint was never intended to do, but it's been used and abused by me for decades. So what you're looking at is a layout map for Dancing Turtle 2025. And there's 2 city blocks involved. The city block where this building is, which is the Stillwater Community Center, used to be a high school. There's been schools on this block since the late 1800s.
Wow.
So this was the last permutation of a school on the block until it was closed and replaced by the new high school in the 60s. And it sat kind of in various levels of use and abuse for a while, and the city finally kind of kicked in with a bunch of private money again, and now it's a very, very, very busy community center, like 100,000 threshold crossings a year type busy.
Wow.
So that's this block, and it has the capacity of handling about 2,000 people simultaneously, and that's just the first level. By the way, the second floor is empty. So if anybody's looking for a great opportunity to invest, okay, anyway, got 20,000 square feet upstairs that's looking for something to do. Anyway, so this part of the building can handle about 2,000 people. We have the Lowry Activity Center, which is a converted gym.
The gymnasium, yeah.
And it's a great party environment. It's great for dinners, event. The gala was in there. It's a multi-purpose room. It's got a cool vibe to it.
I know the chamber uses it for business at lunch pretty often.
Yeah, and weddings.
Oh yeah, I've been to multiple weddings here actually. Yeah,
all that's happening in the LAC.
Yeah,
and in fact, Dancing Turtle is going to be one of our venues. It's going to be full of artists, full of art vendors.
The living room.
The living room, exactly. We're going to have live music in there for 2 solid days, so that's exciting. And then Friday night, we've got the Waxy Dargles and the Distill and Chill Art Social, which is going to have free spirits tasting, have some nibbles that are free. It's going to be a great party. Anyway.
So before we go too deep into the specifics of Dancing Turtle, let's go umbrella.
Okay. I'm coming back. So getting back to this diagram here. We've been in the planning stages for Dancing Turtle 2025 since July of 2024, okay?
Yeah.
And that's going to happen again this year. As soon as we're done with Dancing Turtle 2025, we're going to start back up and start cooking up diagrams like this, like immediately, okay? And so, in fact, tomorrow night, this diagram is going to get nailed down. We're having a lock-in. Nobody can leave until we all agree on the team where everything is going to be when.
Yep.
So we have 2 blocks involved. We have this block with the community center. So the event this year is going to be in July. So it's going to be this is going to be a very popular space because it's air conditioned.
Right.
So
Very popular.
Late July in Oklahoma, people tend to migrate towards cool spaces. So I expect a lot of traffic in here, and it's going to be full of art. Every room pretty much is going to have art on display and art vendors and artists. We're going to have live music all day long. We've got 2 music venues in here, actually. Room 121 is also going to have an open mic type thing, which I'm sure is going to be plenty busy all day long.
Yep.
So that's Block 35, and Block 34 is next door. And Block 34 is a development that is has been in the works in concept for decades. The city of Stillwater has had a vision of something big happening in downtown Stillwater for a really, really long time. And about 15, I'm going to have my numbers a little bit wrong here, 15, 20 years ago, the city of Stillwater started aggregating ownership of properties on the city block number 34. And back in 2017, they formed an advisory group that I was part of, and said, go figure out what to do with this thing, okay? And here's kind of our rules. I said, okay, fine. So we went off and started doing our thing. And one of the things that we had town meetings, there were public meetings. We took input from the community, and kind of some of the common messages are we want an outdoor music venue, okay, we can do that. We want a place for kids to hang out. We want kind of a gathering place, kind of a town square thing. We just want to get together. We want to hang out, which we don't have. Stillwater never had a town square. So this was kind of our town square after 110 years of being a community, right? Can't rush into these things.
Once we're a city, now we get a town square.
Yeah, right. So that block is going to have a national level stage on it, the Kicker Sound Stage. It's going to have a sizable pavilion in the other corner. Not Bank First, gee, shame on me. The Simmons Bank Pavilion is in the northeast corner. And it's a big shaded area, which is going to be really popular in July again. Right. Okay. It's going to have 3 children play areas. We've got a kind of a conventional playground, small conventional playground, and then we have a music playground full of musical instruments for kids to do their thing. And then we have a splash pad that is also a computer-controlled fountain that has lights built in. So
kind of shoots water out of the ground sort of thing.
Shoots water out of the ground, and you can make them any color you want. You can program it to be any level you want. So anyway, the city staff is getting trained up on there as we speak to figure out how to program that thing.
Yeah.
So that's happening on Block 34, and it is Dancing Turtle 2025 happens to also be the grand opening.
Happens to be
of Block 34. And the irony of that is that we had aspirations of Dancing Turtle 2023 being on Block 34.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Things got pushed back.
Some things for a lot of good reasons, actually. The city stepped in and did a bunch of infrastructure improvements that probably delayed everything about 18 months.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a negative way. They had to think about it and figure out how to get the money. And so they kicked in, $5 million, $6 million bucks.
Wow.
So it was a big deal and really helpful. So
and sets everything else up after for success.
Yes. So we actually designed Dancing Turtle to kind of showcase and leverage the assets we have downtown, which is the community center.
Right. And
now this kind of absolutely awesome facility that's going on up next door across the street, Block 34. I mean, we're going to, the diagram, I don't know if they're going to be able to see this or not, but
those of you who are watching on video, you see the diagram. Those of you listening, you're missing out.
Anyway, we've got upwards of 5,000 person capacity between these two facilities. And so we can really handle a crowd. Yeah. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Plus, people are going to be pouring into downtown too. So
so 5,000 at a time, hopefully with
just in this space.
Hopefully with some mix around.
If you're kind of busting at the seams and everybody's moving out into the bars and restaurants in downtown Stillwater, you handle lots and lots of
Yeah.
people. And I see that happening actually in the future, maybe this summer.
Yeah. So paint a picture of Dancing Turtle, and not the logo. Not the painted turtle that is the logo of Dancing Turtle, but give us the vision of all-encompassing elevator speech of Dancing Turtle.
Interesting choice of words. Paint a picture.
Paint a picture.
Okay,
Paint a
fine.
picture of an arts festival.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's good. So this Dancing Turtle was an all-arts event. Our philosophy is that the bigger the art party, the better. We kind of like to think of the concept of Dancing Turtle as a funky and friendly arts festival. We've got visual arts, sculptures, paintings, the conventional art festival type thing going on. We've got a high school art competition going on as part of that. Got 5 live music venues, so we're kind of going big, and we're looking at making the party even bigger. Every year we have a dance element, which is very unique. We believe we have the only regional dance concert that is a collaboration from dance companies across kind of the state.
Very cool.
They come in early Saturday morning and cook up a program.
They make it up
together.
that day?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. and then they're on. I mean, the curtains open at 3:00 and it happens, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing what people can do when they want to work together and do great things.
Yeah.
And
Well, I feel like that's a common theme for everything else we've talked about.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we're super excited about that. This year in Dancing Turtle is going to have probably our kids' element is probably going to be 10 times as much as it was last year. So we're really excited about that.
Awesome.
There's going to be stuff for kids to do kind of all day, Saturday.
And all over the place, right?
And yeah.
Yeah.
And the play areas on Block 34 are going to be busy, but particularly the water feature when it's 100 degrees outside.
Right.
I think there's going to be adults and kids in the splash pad fighting for space. Anyway, yeah. So that's. But yeah, we believe art builds community, and we're seeing that. I mean, one of the things you kind of notice about Stillwater is the vibrancy. If you were to come to downtown Stillwater 20 years ago, you would have no trouble finding a parking spot at all. You now have a bit of a problem finding a parking spot sometimes in downtown Stillwater, which is actually a great problem to have. If anybody tells you, is parking a problem? If parking's a problem, that means your community is rocking and rolling, and then you'll start finding other solutions for the parking. Anyway,
Right.
So going down a rat hole. So Stillwater is a bubbling center right now, downtown Stillwater, and our vibrancy keeps building up, and that's community building. You just see arts as a kind of a central theme in what's going on in downtown Still. There's kind of study after study that says art is great for an economy. In Oklahoma, it's literally hundreds of millions of dollars of value addition as a result
Per year?
of the arts. So, I mean, just think of people going to concerts, people going to art shows, people going to museums. I mean, it's a serious.
People spend a lot of money on entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, who doesn't get in their car and turn the radio on? I mean, we kind of like art.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Just a bit. They go out and buy a car and you go, wow, man, I don't like the look at that one, but I like the look at that one. The colors on. That's all art stuff. And that actually brings us to another element of Dancing Turtle, which is what we call design. And so art is in everything. I mean, you just look in this room. We happen to be in a room full of Japanese kind of artwork and artifacts because this is a sister city room, the Kamioka room in the community center. Stillwater's a sister city, but also OSU is kind of like our neighbor, and it is a big international school, and so there's a wonderful international flavor to Stillwater culture and art. In fact, if you go out in the entryway, the lobby here at the community center, you see some art that is influenced by other parts of the world. So anyway, That's kind of fun. So the design element, we're going to have 100 years of Harley Davidsons.
Oh, very cool.
We're going to have more than 100 years of bicycles.
Wow.
Okay. We're going to have probably more than 100 years worth of cars. And people can kind of see that evolution of design.
Because the car club's going to be there, right?
Yes, they are.
Very cool.
And we have a dancing turtle robot this year.
You heard it here first.
we're super excited about that. It's another advantage of having a university kind of is that the college is the university is kind of all in on Dancing Turtle this year, and we're super excited about their involvement. And one of the senior engineering teams designed a dancing turtle robot, which will dance with you. So you just have to come down here and have a dancing turtle as your dance partner, and it'll be fun. So we're kind of about STEM and design and kind of the full spectrum, and we're going to have more. I mean, 2025 is going to be huge, and 2026 is going to be even bigger because we got people saying, well, why don't you do culinary arts? Why don't you do... Okay, let's do it. Bring it on. We love it. Make the party bigger. So anyway.
Very cool. So let's talk about the music for a second. You said 5 stages.
Yeah.
Where are those going to be?
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
No. Come and find out. No, we've got the living room, which is in the gymnasium / auditorium. Lowry Activity Center is the official name. That's going to be kind of a singer-songwriter type of venue. Which is going to be framed by a bunch of artwork. We're going to have, I think, 14 artists / art vendors in there. They're going to be happy about all the traffic that's going to the music.
Right.
And they'll go around and buy their art.
So why is it called the living room?
Because it looks like a living room. We're going to have sofas and overstuffed chairs, and it's going to be a very cool, kind of casual, layback kind of area.
Cool.
So that's the living room. I'm doing room numbers. I apologize. We're going to have an open mic room that I have no doubt is going to stay busy. We've got a lot of young budding singer-songwriters, and then we've got singer-songwriters from 14 to 85 years old, and they will come and kind of share what they can do. And so that's going to happen. So there's 2. We've got the Pavilion on Block 34.
Simmons Bank Pavilion?
The Simmons Bank Pavilion, yes, exactly. That's going to have live music basically from 10 o'clock until... In fact, the Dancing Eagles are going to open.
The Dancing Eagles?
Yeah, so the Dancing Eagles is a Native American group out of the Sapulpa area. They're going to kick our event off. It's super cool. I mean, it's pretty awesome when they... So they're going to do dance, they're going to do some storytelling, and that's going to kick the whole festival off Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. So that's going to be how we're going to get this baby launched.
Awesome.
Super exciting. And then we're going to have bands on that venue until 5 o'clock. And then we're going to move to the other. So now that was 3. Now we're going to be to 4. Okay. So we're going to move to the
opposite corner of Block 34.
Okay. So if you look at the diagram, I'm going to let your podcast guy figure out how to do that. So Denver's going to figure out how to communicate to you that we've got a stage in the southwest corner, which is the Kicker Sound stage. And that
just follow Dancing Turtle social media. It'll all be shared there.
Yeah. Listen to him. So the Kicker Sound stage is going to be the kind of site for the grand opening ceremony, which I think is 7, if I've got my timing right. I think it's 7 o'clock is what the plan is right now. And so we're going to have, we've been told by the city it's not going to be more than 15 minutes. I think that's attention span most of us can handle, about 15 minutes of ceremonials. Then we need to get on with the party. And so we're going to have the grand opening, and then we got some really big acts on the Kicker Sound stage until probably midnight. I just think we're going to probably go until everybody wears out.
Might be a few bonus encores.
Yeah, I suspect. There's a lot of musicians in the area, and our acts have got relationships with lots of other artists in the area, so it's not unimaginable that we end up with some guests.
Right.
So stay tuned.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Exciting.
We're looking forward to that. And then 5 is Stone Cloud. So Stone Cloud's going to have kind of the more raucous we're kind of leaning to family friendly, and kind of, I don't want to say laid back, because the performers on the pavilion and on the Kicker soundstage are not passive.
They're going to be a little more rock, not so much acoustic singer-songwriter
Right.
like the living room and the open mic.
Right.
So those are going to be more rock, but then Stone Cloud's going to be more like
Off the rails.
pretty heavy. Yeah. Punk rock.
Yeah.
Parental guidance recommended. Explicit
We're,
tag warning.
You're not going to have the parents putting their hands over the kids' ears on anything in Block 34 or the community center. So
but definitely a Stone Cloud.
definitely Stone. Well, you don't know. It just depends on who's up.
True.
and how things are rolling. But anyway, Stone Cloud's actually a great place for families. Don't get us wrong. It's a very family friendly space, and
That's just going to be that
super cool venue.
the extra loud music.
Super loud.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah. So, and who knows, between now and then, some of the other local venues may kick up and they may try to do something too. So we'll see. That's what we're trying to do.
That'd be really cool. I imagine some bars will have open mics and stuff like that, or probably bring some musicians in.
I know if I had a bar, I would be leveraging what
Right.
was going on
Yeah.
down here. Anyway.
So is that kind of the vision, is that it doesn't become just this like community center Block 34 Stone Cloud thing, but that it just kind of grows and just becomes this
Radiates.
kind of whole big downtown music, arts, every level of celebration of the arts?
We would love for the whole town to just kind of go nuts and just really, and that happens if you look at some other big communities, other communities where something like this has happened. If you can keep the energy up and add value. I mean, one of our kind of underlying focuses is we're trying to increase, help businesses in Stillwater, help the community grow,
Right.
kind of create more opportunities for the arts and help the vibrancy of the town. So it'd be awesome if Washington Street, the Strip, kicked up. There's some good venues down there. There's numerous other venues in the Stillwater downtown area. And another little plug for downtown. We would be a great venue for a really big music festival. We got like 7 stages within 5 blocks.
That's what Dancing Turtle needs to be.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're super excited. Yeah. So, I mean, that actually kind of is a good segue to talk about the Block 34 music programming.
Okay.
If that's okay, or unless you want to keep talking about it. We can go back to Dancing Turtle.
Well, we're just talking about whatever.
We'll just roll. Okay. Yeah. So, thanks to the very generous contributions of Kicker, they donated a serious chunk of change to enable 10 years of program funding as well. And so we are going to have live music first and third Saturdays, August, September, October this year. And they're going to be real acts, and it's going to be a blast. We got a Shred Fest in October 4th, I think it is. Is that right? Yeah. October 14th, we've got, I'm not going to name names yet, but we've got a very, very serious singer-songwriter.
So first and third week, so August to September to
August 4th. Is it the 4th and 18th?
So there's 6? Are there
no,
6?
it's the 2nd
August,
and
September,
16th.
October?
Oh, sorry, yes. First, whatever they are.
Okay.
August 2nd.
So 6 events this fall?
7.
Oh, 7.
Because the city said, "Why don't you go ahead and do 3 in September?" Because the backing of this, getting back to the pitch for this, is that on September 13th, we're going to have a Celtic festival halfway to St. Pat's.
Nice.
And that's going to be kind of an all-day deal.
Yeah.
But that's not on the first or third Saturday. It's on the second Saturday in September, and basically the city and everybody else said, "Well, let's just do 3 in September." So
awesome.
we're gonna do 3 in September.
That's great.
So we're plus live music every Saturday morning at the Saturday Market, which is looking like it's going to be in full swing.
Saturday Market? Question mark?
Yeah, good. That's fair. And I don't want to steal anybody's thunder here. I've been involved in Block 34 for quite a while, including in the design phase, and kind of one of the underpinning objectives for Block 34 was gathering space, kind of an art venue, a music venue, a great place for the city to get together. But it was also a great venue for live music and mobile vendors and Saturday market. And we actually, I've just been involved in it. I've been part of the design team. It's taken a village, and I'm just kind of one cog in the wheel. But we kind of did some layout and application considerations for mobile vendors.
Right.
And a big Saturday market. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that, in fact, Duncan Street, which is the street connecting Block 30, the community center in Block 34.
On the left side of Block 34, for
see
those
all
of you
the
who are
white
looking.
and blue here in the middle?
All the white and blue in the middle. Yeah.
That's this is for Dancing Turtle, so those are vendors / artist booths. But they're also that street's being configured for Saturday market. Mm-hmm. And they're actually going to have temporary bollards on the street so that you can make it a pedestrian connection. Mm-hmm. And a great place to have market. And we're going to provide live music every single Saturday morning to support that. So we're optimistic that I know the city's working really hard and they're working with kind of a team to make something amazing happen there. And if you've ever been to the Boulder Market or Scissortail Park, I mean, there's some great analogies where you've got these big Saturday markets and folks show up and kind of make a morning or a day of it. Yeah. So stay tuned.
Well, and it'll be really cool on the days where the market and the events are happening.
Which is going to happen twice a month.
Yeah. So it's just going to kind of be one big long day to hang out downtown. Come and go as you want.
Exactly.
Go, buy some stuff from some local people, stick around for a concert.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure there's going to be food vendors, food trucks, all that good stuff. So or just go walk one block and eat downtown.
The block is set up with power plug-ins for food trucks on east and west sides, so no generators are needed.
Perfect.
And we got lots of power available.
That helps a lot with sound because, I'm sure we've all been to an event where there's a food truck with a big generator, and so that'll be really good. Yeah. Set up for success, kind of what we were talking about them taking all that extra time. Yeah. Worth it.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Duncan Street's going to be like 60 feet wide,
Wow.
So it's going to be able to handle a lot of.
They can have rows and rows and rows of vendors.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we kind of can easily get 60 in there. We're looking at layouts, so it could be even more. And then we've got places to overflow into as well. So yeah.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit more about what's going on with the Dancing Turtle events, like the kids events and things like that. So you said a little bit of everywhere.
Great question. Let's talk about the kids events because this is good. So this year we're going to have bicycle decorating. So kids bring their bikes down and they decorate them.
And are the supplies?
And we're going to have supplies here. But you're certainly welcome to decorate your bike before you bring it down.
Pre-decorate.
Okay, you can do some. I mean, it's we're kind of easy going on that whole thing. But yeah, we'll have supplies. Bring your bike down, and you can get it decorated like you want. And then I think 10:30 we're going to have a bicycle parade around Block 34. So that'll be fun. Yeah. And I don't know that there's an age restriction on that. So they may be kids of all ages type of a bike parade. Yeah. So, and then we're going to have something that is very appropriate for Dancing Turtle. We're having a slow bike race.
So what is a slow bike race?
Yeah, it's very deliberate. So it's this is something that has been a thing for a long time. I have been a member of Yost Lake for years, and they've had a slow bike race for a long time. So that was kind of the inspiration.
Okay, is that you guys had one?
But it's not, they were not the origin. There's actually, if you go online and type in slow bike race, you're going to see. So the slow bike race is the last one across the finish line wins. Okay, and
so you're trying to just barely.
Exactly. As you would expect, there's rules.
Right.
Okay. And the rules are you can't put your foot down. You can't run into anybody else.
It
can't be a full contact slow bike race. But you can't put your foot down. You have to keep moving. And I mean, the rules are online. So go look at dancingturtle.org.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And I think if we're successful in getting the word out, there could be multiple heats. It's going to be fairly short. The distance is fairly short.
It just depends on how many people show up and sign up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and there's prizes for that. Big prizes.
Oh, yeah.
$100 for the slowest.
It's just so funny saying the slowest.
It's like golf. The low score wins.
True.
Right? Okay,
true. Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like golf, but bikes.
And then best decorated. So the slow bike race entrants can also earn a best decorated slow bike. Okay, and I don't know what the rules are on that yet. I think they may have to finish the course. We'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's also $100. So I mean, this is serious.
Yeah,
It's serious. So,
very fun.
yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, Stillwater's kind of a bike town, so we thought, why not? Let's do.
We are becoming more of a bike town.
We are.
Thanks to Mid-South and many other initiatives.
Yeah. Exactly.
I remember a few years ago when we just started getting the bike lanes everywhere, and I know people have mixed feelings about that, but I think it's good.
I think it is too. I'm a bicycle guy, so.
Yeah. So what is something that's not in Stillwater that you would like to see either come to Stillwater in terms of like a type of event or a new community initiative, new community space? You can't use the Washington School and you can't use Block 34.
Okay. Well, Elvis, if you're listening, I would...
Because we all know he's still around.
Yeah. You're welcome at Stillwater. You're welcome. Maybe that's next year's the best Elvis.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold that thought. Wow, that's a tough question. Well, I think there's so many fronts. I mean, I would love to see. This is kind of getting super serious, actually, and I'm going to speak to Dancing Turtle for a minute. The net proceeds from Dancing Turtle are going to go to the Payne County Youth Center, Youth Services here in town, and some of it, and we're going to share with the Community Center Foundation so we can keep doing what we're doing too. But Stillwater is not immune to the challenges of family problems and mental health issues, and I would love to see us foster and enable more mental health care in town. I know we're totally changing something, getting somber, but art actually is known to be a phenomenally powerful therapy tool in mental health and to help kids through their problems. And I think that events like Dancing Turtle, with the right focus, can help spawn improved offerings and awareness in a community.
Yeah.
And I think, I know from some of our music activities in town that they're great community builders. You get a real menagerie of people participating, and it's community building and therapeutic for everybody. And I just see that as a wonderful byproduct of an arts festival like Dancing Turtle, is you help create connections and you maybe help create avenues for people to have better, vibrant lives. So if you're asking, I don't know if that answered your question.
That's great. And and kind of like how you talked about the economic benefits, there are so many benefits to art in a community and just even just general community events. Like the more that we can do together, the better things are for a community. So, yeah.
I think the music scene, OSU's music industry department is the fastest growing department at OSU. Mm-hmm. And two things. One is that it kind of speaks to the interest of music for people in their, because those students obviously want music in their lives and they want to help make things happen. And I can see Stillwater's music scene just continuing to build. I mean, you look at what Bobby's done over at the bait shop. We've got a new music venue evolving.
Yep.
And I'm optimistic that we're going to see more of that. And there's a friend of mine who's been around Stillwater for decades. He says I'm feeling a music renaissance occurring here in Stillwater, and I can see that happening on a range of fronts in the arts world.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Yeah,
awesome. And I love that with Dancing Turtle, because we do have some other big music events, but they're things like Calf Fry. They're things that aren't family oriented, right. And so I think Dancing Turtle is really great because it's a big change. You're not taking your whole family to a football game. You're not taking your whole, right. You're not trying to take your family somewhere that may or may not be a family oriented place. But I love that for Dancing Turtle, it's all about every member of the community.
Absolutely. Exactly. Everybody, all sizes and shapes and ages. And I mean, we want to create an experience that is meaningful and wonderful and fun for everybody that shows up.
That's great. So final thought, what do you love about Stillwater?
That's kind of a trick question.
I know you've talked about a lot of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, background about me and my wife, I mean, we lived overseas for 15 years.
Where at? Numerous places, it seems.
So my sons say that our most difficult foreign posting was Houston, Texas, but I'm not including that in the 15 years. That would make it 18 years. But we lived in Russia, Egypt. I worked Poland for a year, but I was commuting. Indonesia, Trinidad and Tobago. But my work had me kind of a lot of other places. I did quite a bit of work in Europe. Did work across was in Japan, an office in Japan for a while. We could have lived anywhere. I mean, we had roots of sorts kind of across the planet and friends kind of everywhere. But Stillwater's just home. I mean, my wife grew up here, and we like the size of and the feel, the friendliness of Stillwater. And it's better now than when we moved here in 2009. I mean, it was okay in 2009 when we moved back, and it's like awesome now. So we love it. Small town feel with some big city offerings, So that's it. I mean, traffic's a little bit tough to tolerate sometimes. It took me like 8 minutes to get across town the other day, and it was so frustrating. 8 minutes.
When you can go one block out of the way pretty much anywhere and just cut right across it.
I mean, we lived in Jakarta, Indonesia for a while, and I used to regularly have a 6-mile, 2-hour commute.
Oh my gosh.
And there was this constant decision-making process. Do I just get out and walk?
Would it be faster if I walked?
Do I stay in the car?
What do you have to walk, 3 miles an hour?
Yeah.
So pretty much normal walking pace.
Now, granted, in Jakarta, you're having to dodge motorcycles and cars, and you run out of sidewalk about every other block, and so you're dodging alligators and boa constrictors and all the other canal-type critters. But anyway.
Yeah, cool.
So
well,
we love it.
Thank you so much for your time.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for listening to the Still Connect podcast. Check out Dancing Turtle, the Stillwater Community Center Foundation, the Washington School Foundation. All of those things will be linked in the show notes below. And if you loved today's episode, don't forget to follow the podcast on social as well, and to share the podcast with all of your Stillwater friends. If you believe in building community through these conversations, consider supporting the podcast on Patreon, where, for less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can get early access to episodes, a peek behind the curtain at the podcast making process, and a shout out on an episode. With a higher contribution, you can do things like submit questions for upcoming guests, make special requests for the show, get access to online Q&As, and even be on the podcast for an interview segment. No matter what your capacity for supporting the podcast is, every little bit helps grow this amazing community. And we all need community. So even when life gets busy, make sure you still connect.